And then one night, completely out of the blue, I've decided to just name it just for transparency, but it suddenly came to me, my inner voice saying, good morning, or whichever time of the day you watch this video. So today I would like to talk about 5 very impactful decisions that I've made in my life, and at the same time as you watch this video, I would like to encourage you to think about your impactful decisions, and if you feel like it, also share them in the comments and I will do my best to read all of them. So I've had this idea this weekend when I filmed another one of my videos, cool facts about me, but yeah, this other idea came to mind about decisions that decisions that were not just a little bit impactful, decisions that actually changed the course of my life for the better. And so the most impactful I have left to the end. It's going to be number 5, so stay tuned. Sounds always so cheesy, doesn't it? Stay tuned. What else can you say? So let's begin with the first one. So as I went through my notes, I realized that 3 of the most impactful decisions for the better were decisions that were completely guided by my gut feeling. How interesting is that? And 2 of them were probably also guided to a degree by my gut feeling, but with 3 of them I remember very deeply that they completely were. Decision number 1 that I would like to share with you, maybe also inspire you, is that during a meditation it came to me the idea that I should contact my former best friend, a friend of mine. I hope you cannot hear this beeping sound. I don't know what it is. It stopped, okay. A friend of mine that used to be my best friend, and we were friends for the longest time, but then we had like a friendship breakup. We had a big fallout. We couldn't work it out. We tried several times to work it out. We couldn't work it out. We weren't in touch for 2 years. And this is the time when it came to me that maybe now's the time to approach her again, and also the idea that if anything we have to actually get together, because previously what we tried was writing letters, having a phone call, but we just couldn't work it out. So I decided to contact her, which was very nerve-wracking, I must say, because no one likes to be rejected, and there was a good chance that I would be rejected because I hadn't spoken to this person for 2 years. So maybe she moved on, she wants nothing to do with me, maybe she blocked me. I mean, I didn't think she had, but you don't know. You don't know. So I was brave and I messaged her. So she didn't message back immediately. I remember this as if it was yesterday, but I wasn't too concerned about that. I thought, okay, this message has reached her out of the blue. She probably has to think about it. And so I can't expect her to reply immediately. But what she did is she replied about 24 hours later, so just 1 day. I just had to wait for 1 day. And she said, I'm up for it. I mean, I don't know what words she used, it's too long ago at this point, but she said, I want to meet. I want to have a chat. So we decided to meet. We had a chat, and at this point in time, it turned out that we were both ready to just completely be open and honest and admit our mistakes from the past. And I guess probably we said sorry for some things, I can't remember. And we were just both ready to leave it all behind, to move on and to be friends again. And she has been my best friend ever since. So if I hadn't taken that leap to message her, well, we wouldn't be friends again. We just wouldn't. So that was one of the best decisions I've made. Number 2. I have to take a look. Number 2. One of the best decisions, again, taking a leap. It was something I hadn't done before at the time. I, at the time, wanted to have some time off to publish my first book and write my second book, but I needed to do something to cover my basic needs. Basically not having to pay rent. So I found out about house sitting, and I had no idea if it would work, and I had not had a lot of pet experience at the time, and obviously I was completely new to these websites, so had no references at the time. But I figured it out, and I was able to secure a house sit fairly soon. By the way, that first house sit, 2 of my best friends to this day. And from there on, the ball was just rolling. So from the first house sit, and as I acquired a few references, it was more and more easy to get house sits. So I did it a lot back then, and I still occasionally do it now. I have made friends through it. I have obviously saved a lot of money through it. I have gained my love for pets through it, because I didn't grow up with pets, and I really didn't have, well, I grew up with a little bird, but that was it. And I didn't have much exposure to pets before this. So again, I took a leap, and it worked out, and I'm so grateful for it. So, number 3, I have to check again. What did I write down? The third thing is I made the decision to move from being a nanny into social care. I was approached by one of my friends who introduced me to the idea because she had signed up to do it, and she went off, and then when she finished her job, she reported back to me, and she said, yeah, it was good, and I recommend it to you. You can do it. But at the time, I was still not ready to take the leap. I thought about it. I took my time to sign up with the agency that she recommended to me, and eventually I tried it out, but it was completely new to me, and it took me a little bit to find my, how do you say, find my footing, find my grip, anyway, something like that I found along the way. And it has really this new job has really contributed for the better to my life. I have been, for the most part, of course there's always up and downs, but for the most part really happy and fulfilled doing this job. And so therefore it is on the list of the most impactful decisions I've made. Coming to decision number 4. Nearly coming to decision number 5. Okay, this is another one where I completely trusted my gut feeling. Again, I think it was through meditation that I realized, this was when I was looking for a partner, but I had quite a few negative experiences with meeting men here in London. And I got this gut feeling that I was meant to delete all dating apps, and also any ties, like any guys that were occasionally still messaging me but it wasn't leading anywhere, to cut that off and to focus on myself. Just focus on myself and just let myself guide through my inner voice. And I tell you, that was not easy. I mean, I don't know if it sounds easy to you, but it wasn't easy for me, because there was a voice in my head that said, well, if you delete your if you delete your dating apps, how are you going to meet somebody, yada, yada, yada. But I said to myself, well, what have you got to lose? Because you've tried these apps, they haven't worked for you to this date. You can always go back on them at a later date. But if your gut feeling says, just let go of them for now, then just go with that. So I did that. And I wasn't seeing anybody for a bit. I wasn't messaging with anybody for a bit. I was just working on myself. And then one night, completely out of the blue, I met someone. I met my partner. And again, it was just trusting that gut feeling, which is sometimes so hard to do, isn't it? Because we always think with our brain, but we need to think with our heart more. And now decision number 5, the one that you're all waiting for. If you made it to this point in the video, also if you did, leave a yellow heart in the comments so that I know you've got to this point in the video. So the last point, what I figured to this point in my life has been the most impactful decision. And I've been thinking whether I should name the actual brand or not, because I am not trying to advertise this. I've decided to just name it just for transparency, but I'm not sponsored and I'm not advertising anything. So what am I actually talking about? A few years ago, I think it was 2018. Yes, 2018. I went to a one-day workshop with Dr. Joe Dispenza. If you've never heard the name, he is in the field of meditation. Just look him up if you're interested. So I wanted to see him live because I had read his book. I actually had no idea that he was doing workshops. I think I got a newsletter and somehow I found out about this one-day workshop. And I thought, okay, this is a great opportunity. I want to see him live. So I went, I saw him live for one day, and obviously, as all these people do, by the end of the workshop, they always talk about their other programs that they had. So he was talking about the 1-week advanced workshop that he has, and I looked it up and I saw that it was quite expensive, and I didn't see a need to go to their workshop anytime soon. So that was not on my radar at all. So I can't remember for sure, but I think this workshop was in April 2018. So a few months later, I'm working with a client in Wimbledon, somewhere in Wimbledon, and I take her, I think it was a sunny Saturday morning, and she asked me to take her dogs out. So I am out on a walk with her dogs, and it suddenly came to me, my inner voice saying, you're meant to go to this Dr. Joe Dispenza advanced workshop. And this is how you can see, I'm not advertising this to you, because you need to listen to what your inner voice is telling you. It could be something completely different. But for me, on that morning, it was, you're meant to go there. So as soon as I finished my shift, I went home. I went on my computer, I had a look, and at the time there were no workshops in the UK or anywhere where I would be willing to travel. So I thought to myself, okay, fine. What I'm going to do, this is by the way different now, but at the time you had to do a workshop before you can actually sign up for the advanced retreat. So I said to myself, okay, I'm going to sign up for the workshop, it was online, do the workshop, and then when something comes up, I'm ready. So I did that. I signed up, and 2 weeks later, I kid you not, he puts a workshop onto his website, or probably not he himself, his assistant probably, for Brighton. And I think he had never done a workshop in the UK before, and actually I'm not sure if he's done one ever since, but he put a workshop for the UK, and I think it was for November the same year, if I'm not wrong. I think so. I can't remember, but it was cold. Maybe it was later. I really can't remember, but I think I sign up to the waitlist or something. They email me when they're going to open up for registration, so I put that in my diary. And then as soon as it's registration, I sign up. So we haven't yet come to why this was actually one of the best decisions of my life. And I'm trying to think how I'm actually going to tell you. This workshop was about meditation. The structure was a little bit like meditating, theory about meditation, the way that Dr. Joe teaches it, and so on and so forth. And by the end of the week, we all learned properly the theory and the practice. And by the way, I had never in my life meditated until I made that decision. Until that inner voice said to me, this is for you. I had never seen a point in meditation until that point. So that's quite a unique thing to mention as well. Okay, so the way to explain to you why this has been by far one of the most impactful decisions I've ever made, without getting too woo-woo or too spiritual on you, is that learning this technique of meditation and then taking it with me into my day-to-day life and implementing this into my daily life has made the biggest change, the biggest positive change in my life. My life has up-leveled so much. I have become so much more happy. I have become so much more determined and believing in myself. This workshop taught me things that I'm still using to this day, and we're now in 2025. So this is why I've put this at the end of my video. This is why I have chosen this point to be the most impactful, because it has the most reaching benefits over a very long stretch of time, and still currently. I mean, I keep using these techniques and they keep making my life better every time. Yeah. So I've really enjoyed sharing these decisions with you. Let me know in the comments below which one you found the most interesting and whether you have maybe any additional questions for me. Also, if you have any ideas for future videos. Yeah. And so if you liked listening to my journey, give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see a bit more of me, and you will see me next time. Bye.